Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on our channel. It's in the description below. Reach out to me, please, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a 40mm yellow gold Rolex Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph Daytona on the Oysterflex strap. This, reference 116518LN, was part of a series of watches launched at Baselworld 2017, rose, white, and yellow gold, on the Oysterflex strap with the ceramic bezel, and this example was sold in 2019. The timepiece is 40mm by 12.1mm thick by 47.5mm lug-to-lug with a 20mm spacing between the lugs. Pop open the Oyster clasp, which you can see features both a lift lock system and a clamshell lock. Throw it on the wrist. It is comfortable, it is handsome, and I really do think you get the most bang for the buck visually from the yellow gold Oysterflex Daytona. I'm usually a white metal guy, but this would be my choice among the three options. The timepiece is handsome. It's flat. You see on my 16cm circumference wrist, from over the top, it's nowhere near the edge of my wrist. You can also see that it's sliding under my cuff already, so if you want to wear this as a dress watch, it's not going to get hung up on your sleeve. Now, looking down the barrel, you can see to good effect that there's plenty of clearance on each side of the lug, so even if your wrist is only 13.5cm circumference, you're going to wear this one well. It's hefty, but it's also well balanced. It feels heavier than an average 40mm watch on a strap because the case back is solid gold rather than a $30 sapphire. And it's got an elaborate clasp. We talked about this a moment ago. The nice thing about it is it counterweights the watch on the wrist. So from top to bottom, the mass is the same. It is handsomely finished with straight through polish, polished flanks, satin shoulders, and then internally you can see it's all of high polish with this beacon hook. And you'll note that latch is first. It is a lift lock system. That's your first lock. You can't just pull it open. You need to lift it and unlock it. It has a double locker with a little kerf underneath the Rolex crown to dig your nail in. More easily pop it open. Internally, you can see there are 3 divots drilled with little tracks leading into the divot. You use your strap tool to change the position of the bracelet anchor, and that's one way you can fine-tune size. The other way is the Easy Link system. It snaps in, it snaps out. It's 5mm in and out without resort to a tool. There are several different Oysterflex lengths, and we can work with you on that as we have access to all lengths if you need a different size. So don't worry about fit. It's going to be perfect for you. Oysterflex, rubber on the outside, a titanium alloy on the inside. That's why Rolex refers to this as a bracelet. It can never tear straight through. There's metal inside, and that's also why it cannot be cut to length. That's why there are several different sizes. There's a bellows system underneath that creates an air pocket so your wrist can breathe, and it also obviates the need to get a perfect fit, as the bellows on both sides will cinch down and hold the strap secure, the bracelet secure. Even if there's a little bit of a play based on your wrist size, that will hold it fast. Polished case flank, sinuous, sensuous, glorious, tapered, handsome, fluid, even organic. This is not the super case that you see on the Explorers, the Sea Dwellers, the Subs, and the GMTs. You can also see that there are these conforming end pieces that are inserted into the lug profiles of these Oysterflex and strap-clad Daytonas, creating a more integrated look as though it were on the bracelet. Screw-down crowns, you can see Rolex triplock crown in gold, and you know that because the flanking dots are small and the center dot is big. It would be inverse with the small center and big flanking if this were, for example, platinum and a triplock. The bezel, all ceramic, scratch resistant. That's the idea. Between the sapphire and the bezel, you're expecting that most of the knocks that hit the watch are going to hit the very hard parts that are over 1,500 Vickers. Now, you can see there is also gold fill inside the ceramic bezel, giving you the characters, indices, and numerals of the tachymeter scale, which you can use in conjunction with the chronograph to gauge the speed of an object, such as a car over a mile or a kilometer. Moving inboard, you can see that there's a sunburst yellow gold dial, and that is the color. It is not solid gold, but it is a yellow golden color. And here, Rolex does without the contrasting registers, creating more open, less partitioned, more expansive dial aesthetic. The hands, the crown, and the indices are truly 18-karat gold, and that is so they don't oxidize or tarnish over time. You can see there's a sunburst to the primary dial, and then there is a matte finish to the sub-registers themselves. Inside the case, Rolex manufacturer caliber 4130. Automatic winding bidirectional with a 72-hour power reserve. When this movement debuted back in 2000, it was Rolex's first modern movement to use a rotor bearing rather than a jeweled staff, and that makes the bidirectional winder more rugged against shock than a jeweled staff movement such as the old 3135. 72-hour power reserve, not 70. It's a quirk. The 3200 family of Rolex movements, they're 70. This is a true 3 days. Stop seconds, pull the crown, stop the balance, set the watch to the second. And of course, it is a COSC chronometer, but is also taken after the bare movement is chronometer certified. The movement goes in the case. Rolex tests it as a fully cased watch in 6 positions, not the chronometer 5, and assures you that from the factory, this watch will run no worse than -2 + 2 seconds a day. Hence the term superlative chronometer. It is now substantiated. It means something. The watch does feature a vertical clutch and a column wheel for its chronograph. All of this pivots on 44 joules, beats away at 8 beats per second. The column wheel makes the action of the pusher crisp. The vertical clutch allows you to engage the chronograph without any jump to the seconds hand, and if you prefer to just leave the chronograph running, the vertical clutch allows you to do so without any additional wear and tear. The balance is free sprung, and it has a full balance bridge. Those two features make it very shock tolerant. It has a handmade Breguet overcoil hairspring that allows the watch to keep excellent and consistent time via concentric breathing of the hairspring in any position. That's the advantage of an overcoil, centered mass, and that overcoil is comprised of a blue oxidized niobium zirconium alloy that Rolex calls Parachrom Blue, making the watch anti-magnetic, water-resistant, and, of course, extremely shock-tolerant. All three. It is a very tough customer. Reach out to tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And we're back with the Daytona in Rolex Chromolite Blue by night.